Stampers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Nancy from Stampin'shout. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and every week I pick a new stamp set and then I do 5 daily videos every day at noon, Monday through Friday. And my videos are really short. They're less than 15 minutes. They're to the point, so you can watch from beginning to end. I'll do all the fast forwarding for you, and then you can go create your own cards. All the information is on my blog, so after the video, if you have any questions, you can go there and you can see all the measurements and the supplies that I used. And this week I am using the Timeless Arrangement bundle. So the bundle includes the stamp set and the dies, and there's 16 dies in here. So all this week I'm going to be showing you how you can use this set to make your own cards. But before we get started, I do want to mention the winners from last week. So if you're new here, you might not know, and if you aren't new, you do know that if you leave a comment, you will be entered to win today's card. So every week I do the 5 videos and I have 5 giveaways, and I announce the winners on Monday. So last week's winners are, this one is for Aussie Die 5476. Thank you for your comment. Then we have a card for Deborah Grusser. Thank you so much for your comments. And then we have the window card. That is for Linda Ellenbogen. Thank you, Linda. And then we have the step card. That goes to Lisa DeLong, 1455. And then the treat holder is for Melly B 32. So all you need to do is to email me your address by next Sunday, and then I will send these out to you. And thanks again for your comments. All your comments and your likes and your shares do help me grow my YouTube channel, which is what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate all your help with that. But let's get on today's card. So I said I'm using the Timeless Arrangement set this week, but I think more importantly, I'm using the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper. So this pack of paper is so cool. It's 48 sheets. It's double-sided. It's gorgeous. There's so many different colors. It's great for all occasions. So I do have a lot of cards to share with you this week with that Designer Series paper. So this is a little bit of a fun fold, and I liked it because it shows off both sides of that Designer Series paper. So I have a card base of smoky slate, and then I have an inside white piece for our sentiment. And then I have the Designer Series paper. And then I have matte pieces. So again, all of the measurements will be on my blog. So the first thing we're going to do is score this base. I didn't want to do it off camera. I wanted you to see. So it is, I did score it at 4 1/4. That's your normal scoring mark, 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. But I'm also going to score it at 1 1/4. So bring in the bone folder, and then this one, this piece here, we're going to fold back, just like that. And then we're just going to put it together, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So each Designer Series paper has a matte piece. So there's a white matte piece and the Designer Series paper. And then this one, we're going to put on the other side. And then this one, I'm going to glue on the inside of the card. So I'll do that one in a minute. So let me glue these really quick. Now I'm going to glue these pieces onto the card base. So this big piece goes right there, and then this little piece is going to go on this piece right there. So the flap folds back, and it's going to go right there. So let me glue that together. I'm also going to glue this flap down. So for the inside, I'm going to glue this big piece on the inside of the card, and then I'm going to glue the Designer Series paper off to the right. If I was going to stamp a sentiment, I would do that first, but I'm going to leave this one blank. So that's how it looks. Really, really cute. I like that you can use both sides of the paper, but now we have to decorate the front of it. That's where the timeless arrangement dies are going to come in, and the stamps. So let me bring in a scrap. Oh, I wanted to show you. So here's some of the scraps that I did. I already cut out a lot of the little flower sprigs, the leaf sprigs, and the berry sprigs for all the cards that I'm making this week. So it's just as simple as choosing which one of these you want, and then of course laying it on your scrap sheet and cutting it out with your machine. But I'm going to show you the trick and what's really cool about these little sprigs in just a second. This card I'm using the Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, "You make me smile." And then I'm going to bring in one of these rectangles. They're stitched rectangles. They're great for your sentiments. I'm just going to center it like that and cut it out with my machine. So that's what it looks like when it's all cut out. And it's got that little stitching around it. It's really, really pretty in person. So I also cut out sprigs in the color of my card. So I have white, black, and bubble bath. And let me show you how you put this together. So when you cut out the sprigs, it has this little base part, which is great for gluing and putting it on the sentiment. So it's going to go on the back of our little rectangle here. And what I like to do is I like to build the flower arrangement first and then attach it to my sentiment. And I start with the back piece. So I want the black in the back, and I'm just going to layer the white on it, and I'm just going to off-center it slightly, and then I'm going to put the pink on. So let me put these two pieces together. So I just off-centered it just a little bit so the black shows through, and then this one's going to go on top, and you can play with it in different ways. So instead of me using the whole piece and just laying it on there, I want the flowers to show up differently. So I'm just going to cut this and then put this flower over here. And then I'm going to put this flower right there. So I just cut it so I could kind of move it around the way I want it to be. And let me glue that, and then we'll put it on the sentiment. Okay, so I have all those glued together. I even cut out one more. I cut it off of the double sprig, double flower, and I put it off there to the right. Now this is going to go right behind our little rectangle, just like that. So I'm just going to glue the bottom of this and put it on my sentiment. Just like that. So I'm going to let this sit for a second and get my dimensionals, and we're going to pop this up on the front of our card. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the bottom here. When you layer your sprigs, it adds a little bit of depth, so I'm not going to put the dimensionals up there. And depending on how many layers you have, it can get pretty thick, so you might have to play with the dimensionals to make it nice and even. But let's put this on the front of our card. Okay, so that card is done. Isn't it pretty? Isn't that paper gorgeous? So again, it's delightfully eclectic. And you guys, it is amazing. You really like it. So that's today's card. Come back tomorrow at noon. We'll make another card using timeless arrangements and delightfully eclectic. Be sure to leave your comments. All the comments will be entered to win today's card. I'll announce it next Monday. And visit my blog for the measurements and the supplies that I used. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. Don't be shy. Stamp and Shout.